There are a group of guys or gals in Florida who are trying to take down base Florida man, Ron DeSantis. And the way they're going to do this is by making attack ads about how the evil man is literally irredeemably evil. And they're really good for him. Like, they make him look really base. And I thought we'd just go through a couple of them and enjoy what they claim. So if we get this first one up to show people, this is the account Remove Ron. New ad, retweet if you believe Governor Ron DeSantis has blood on his hands. Man's a murderer. Why? Because COVID, of course. Because American politics is...
He was sneaking into nursing homes at night, coughing on them, like Andrew Cuomo did.
Anyway, let's...
he didn't do that, did he? No, that was Cuomo. Sorry. Moving on.
Let's enjoy this first advert.
There's no denying it, Ron. You've got blood on your hands. It's your fault that masks and vaccines have been politicized, questioned, even disputed. And now, a darkness has fallen over the Sunshine State, as Florida has again become a worldwide epicenter of COVID-19.
We are in crisis mode here in the state of Florida.
We can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. And I can tell you, Florida, we're a free state.
Over 40,000 moms, dads, veterans, police officers, even children dead. Your policies didn't save their lives, Ron. They just allowed Delta to spread further and faster than any other variant, leading to more suffering, human misery, and death than ever. We won't let you get away with it, Ron. We live in Florida.
I love he's like the Zodiac killer or something.
Yeah,
again.
Like he's scheming in his office. Right? How can I kill more women and children?
He's killed 41,000. He can't keep getting away with it.
Well, what were the deaths in California?
I don't know off the top of my head.
They're huge.
Yeah, but that person has, whoever's in charge of California doesn't. But I thought go through some of those quotes in there. So Ron ensures children will get COVID. How did he do that? So Ron said that if you want to send your kid to school, you can. And if you want them wearing a mask, go for it. If you don't, go for it.
Your choice.
Your choice. Your body, your choice. Especially with it's your children. And that's makes him
your
bad.
children, your body, your choice. I'm the villain here.
Yeah. So it's also that it's your fault that masks and vaccines have been politicized.
Oh, yes. It was him that did that.
You will recall the clip we did yesterday on the Defiant L's, that chap. Totally not other people who are also engaged in this, particularly on the left. At the time, it was convenient. And then all of a sudden, no, totally flipped. Nothing to be talked about. Anyway, they have a quote from him where he says, we can be a free society or a biomedical security state.
As if that makes him sound bad.
Yeah, and then he says, we're a free state. Yeah. It's not a dunk. Like, that makes him sound awesome.
You can put all the scary music you want over that, but that's good.
Yeah, it's just got some like speeches from I don't know.
And the leftists are just like, what? You don't want the biomedical security state? No, of course I bloody don't.
Take some Ronald Reagan speeches about why individualism is better than socialism.
Yeah.
Put some scary music over it. It doesn't work. But also that little bit at the end there was some text that said Ron is the mad king of the COVID era. Absolute mad lad. I agree. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, bro, you got to compare it to Biden. I mean, for the love of God.
Yeah. So what's this mad lad doing? He's literally just like, free choice. Your body, your choice. You want
We're
to
not going to tyrannize you.
I'm literally not going to force you. You can do what you want. That's the bad man. Okay. But this is one. And then they released the next one. And the next one is even better. And it's a little bit long, but I think we're going to enjoy it. So if we get this link to show people, Ron DeSantis does not want you to retweet this ad. And let's listen to the ad.
Doesn't he?
Oh,
Doesn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of your cabin crew, we'd like to inform you that we have officially entered Florida airspace.
Where's the mask?
Now that we're making our final descent, please watch this short message from Governor Ron DeSantis on COVID-19. Thereafter, everyone on board will be required to comply with the state's forever purge.
We are not doing any vaccine passports in the state of Florida. We trust people to make their own decisions in this state. We are not going to be bludgeoning people with restrictions and mandates and lockdowns or any of that stuff.
As Governor DeSantis stated, while you're within state lines, you do not have to wear a mask. You do not have to get a vaccine. It is against the law for private businesses or schools to mandate masks or vaccines. And you have the absolute right to infect whoever you want, whenever, and wherever with COVID-19. Thank you for traveling with us, and please, enjoy your Florever Purge.
COVID-19 is surging again.
This is the time to double down.
The governor is doubling down. He says students shouldn't be forced to wear masks.
If you are trying to lock people down, I'm going to stand in your way.
Florida just requested 300 new ventilators.
Hospitals are filling up here.
There is evidence that children are making up much higher cases that are emerging.
The numbers continue to rise across Florida.
This fall, don't breathe in.
This is insane.
The Florever Purge. Coming to a theater and live streaming networks near you.
This is like a parody.
I know. I don't know if it's a parody. It doesn't seem to be. Like, the guys in charge of it definitely seem to be anti-Ron DeSantis, and the opposition candidate keeps like retweeting their stuff. So it seems legit, but it's unbelievable. I'm like, yeah, scary music. What's this man gonna do? You don't have to wear a mask. You don't need a vaccine passport.
Unbelievable. Literally, you know, the governor of Florida is like, I'm not going to tyrannize you.
Yeah.
I'm going to preserve your freedom. So, oh God, be afraid.
A speech from him was like, I'm going to, if people want to lock down, I'm going to stand in their way. Quotes come up, terrifyingly evil. It's just unbelievable.
There aren't even going to be any jackboot stormtroopers forcibly vaccinating me in the streets. This is awful. I can't live here, says the person in California who made that advert.
You know the meme of like the guy surrounded by fire and be like, yeah, this is fine?
Yeah.
There's like the opposite version where we're surrounded by rainbows and sunshine. And it's like, this is unbelievable. So,
yeah, this is an unbearable torment.
Anyway, so some of the quotes for that. So everyone will be required to comply with the state's forever purge.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. How are they going to do that? We have a quote from him saying we trust people to make their own decisions. That's basically Hitler quote. That's what that is. So you don't have to wear a mask or get a vaccine. You have the absolute right to infect whoever you want.
Just like in California with AIDS, eh?
Yeah. There's,
how did they decriminalize the status of infecting someone with AIDS?
So if you knowingly gave someone AIDS, that was a crime because that's kind of evil. Yes. I mean, obviously. And
AIDS is actually very dangerous.
Yeah, and so they decriminalized that because it was homophobic. You should be able to knowingly be able to give someone AIDS. But
giving someone a variant of the flu, oh, that's way worse.
Not allowed. And then the big quote's terrifyingly evil. I mean, that was my favorite bit. Whether they call it the Florever Purge. And so that's the opposition to Ron DeSantis, and his poll numbers just keep going up. I wonder why. But anyway, so let's go into some of the stats on this because, of course, the claim on them.
Are we not just taking the fear mongering at face value?
I don't think we will.
Oh, okay.
I think we'll try and look at the actual data as well, so we can get a rounded picture. So this is just a website that hosts all of the data for cases and deaths by states in the United States. And if we can scroll down, there's if you do on deaths per 1 million for each state, it reads as followed. Top of the list: Mississippi, then New Jersey, Louisiana, Alabama, New York, Arizona, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, then Florida. So,
well, I mean, literally by this, you can just see total death. Go back over a sec. No, go back over a sec. It's on total deaths at the moment, right? Total deaths: California 69,000, Florida 55,000.
Sure, but if we want to be properly charitable, then you have to do it by per million, and even then, they look fine. It's okay.
Deaths per million, yeah.
It's like they're just coming out of a spike, so it's higher than it was previously when we talked about this, but still not the highest in the country.
New York's worse.
Yeah, and a lot of others.
Can we scroll down
worse.
a bit? New Jersey's worse.
Yeah, well, you can see them all there.
But where's California on the list after deaths per million?
I don't know.
Scroll down. I want to see where California and Florida are, respectively.
33 is California.
Right, where's Florida, though?
Florida's right at the top.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, underneath all the ones I read out.
Oh, yeah, number 9, right.
Okay, so also if we just look at the case numbers, so we go to the next link here, you can see, so we get the next one up, please. You can see just the fact that they had a spike, and now they're coming out of the spike. So, again, you have to take that into advice. They are taking their spike right now, and then they're not going to have one, presumably. And also, I love how when it was going up, of course, this is Ron DeSantis has failed. No mask mandates, no vaccine mandates. There's clear evidence that these policies are not good enough. And then when it starts going down, and there's still no mask mandate, and still no vaccine mandate, that isn't proof that those things are needed.
Well, you can compare it to Israel, can't you? With like 90% of the population double vaccinated, and they're on their third spike now.
Because of, that's the situation there. And I don't think we can talk about vaccines in any meaningful sense anymore, thanks to a new update to YouTube's guidance. So
I don't have any doubt on the vaccines at all. It's just that, look,
We'll have to leave it there because the update has become even more ridiculously authoritarian. People can read that in their own time.
Even against the vaccines.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on.
So how did people respond to this? So if we go to the next one, we have Ben Shapiro responding to this for an example of the right. And I love it. This reminds me of my recent flight back from California to Florida and my complete and utter relief at being in a state where the governor says things like, we trust people to make their own decisions in this state. Honestly, did Ron DeSantis write this commercial?
Because, I mean, just take off the scary music and that would have been a good advert for him.
Yeah. I imagine he's sat there like, well, okay, didn't even have to pay for that. Just got that one for free. Anyway, so also if we go to the next one, there is an example of the response by the left to trying to gin up the Ron DeSantis man bad. Why? Because kids are dying of COVID. The number of kids who have died of COVID in Florida has doubled. And you can see this, Fatso. This is a question I asked the VIP reception that made Ron DeSantis refuse to speak to the Job Creators Network event unless police escorted me off the hotel premises. Why is he so afraid? And you can see him retweeting Occupy Democrats, a leftist outlet. Verified checkmark. Ron DeSantis is a disgrace. Why? Because kids are dying of COVID on unbelievable numbers. The rate has doubled, Carl.
God.
The rate has doubled.
God, that sounds terrifying.
Yes. Let's go to the
Combined with that commercial, I am just terrified of based Florida man.
Let's go to the next clip just to see what happened here.
Florida, if you look at, we have the lowest per capita tax burden in the country.
But the rate of kids is dying from COVID has doubled. The rate of kids dying from COVID has doubled. Are you concerned?
So this dude, who's clearly just some leftist who wants to
a leftist hobo.
But I also love how, he's so concerned about COVID that he hasn't lost some weight. He also has no mask on and also has food in his beard, which is weird. But whatever, just not taking care of himself. But we have the data, you obvious liar. We can just look at the numbers. So this is the data set that I found. And if we go to the next link on this, there should be a slide. And you can see here that we have the summary of deaths by age group, gender, race, and ethnicity. Age group, under 16 and 16 to 29. So these are the two groups you could describe as children, although the under 16 being the primary one.
Yeah, 16 to 29, though. Let's just have the whole thing because I can't help but notice that the case fatality rate is 0.0%.
It is to two figures, nothing.
Statistically unmeasurable.
Statistically insignificant, as you would probably say if you're assessing these things. And 0.0% for both of those groups. And going up, it gets a little bit higher to 0.1%. 0.4, 1%, 2.2, and 9% for those over 65.
But that's an amazing, you've got a 91% chance of survival if you're 65 or over.
This is also thanks to Governor DeSantis' rollout of the vaccine being very specific, and the response of how to isolate people was focused on the elderly.
Right, so he did the sensible thing.
Yeah, instead of doing the
He didn't shove people with COVID in nursing homes.
Not that I'm aware of.
No,
so anyway, but also the main point there, him saying, well, the number of kids dying has doubled, and then the adverts being like, kids are dying.
If you double zero, Callum, that sounds very terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, there are 22 deaths, but as a case fatality rate, as listed by the official statistics in Florida, that's 0.0. I did do the extra calculations just to show you what the numbers are if you go to more significant figures. So we go to 3 significant figures just as an idea. Under 16s, it's 0.00466%.
Right.
16 to 29, 0.0448.
Yes, both numbers that you'd reasonably round off to just zero.
So he's not trying to hide the fact that it's low. He's not fiddling the figures or something. It really is just that low for the data given by the government and for the government to use. Yeah, so again, obvious fear-mongering. Although I thought we'd go through some of the other things DeSantis has been up to that are just really based and I think fun. Okay. So if we go to the next one, Sky News Australia, reporting on DeSantis saying that we should cut off ties with Australia in response to what they've been doing.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah, so quote from him. Look what's going on in Australia right now. They're enforcing, after a year and a half, they're still enforcing lockdowns by the military. That's not a free country. It's not a free country at all, in fact. I mean, I wonder why we still have the same diplomatic relations when they're doing that. Is Australia freer than China? Communist China, right now? I don't know. That fact, that it's even a question, tells you something has gone dramatically off the rails with some of this stuff.
That's a good point as well.
Yeah. I'm glad
China was actually freer it probably still is freer right now than Australia is.
I'm glad he's speaking out about what's happening in Australia as well.
Good man.
Based man. And again, it's the point of like, well, you want the biomedical state. That's what it looks like. I'm not doing that. Go to hell. Not doing that. Anyway, we carry on. So we go to the next one here. So this is Business Insider. Apparently, DeSantis is saying he's not going to run for president, as we hear more words about Donald Trump wanting to run. So presumably that's what's going to happen.
No, that's very sensible. If Trump is going to run again, then he doesn't want to get in the way or anything, does he?
Yeah. So DeSantis gave some interesting responses as well. Governor DeSantis says he won't run for president because he's trying to make sure people are not supporting critical race theory.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah.
That's a great response.
Quote from him, "I'm not considering anything beyond doing my job. We've got a lot of stuff going on in Florida. I'm going to be running for re-election next year." DeSantis said in reply to Hannity's question about whether or not he's considering running for president.
Well, just remember to watch those polling stations because you know they're going to try and fortify that.
Another quote from him. "We are also working on a lot of things in the state beyond the governor's race. We got school board races," DeSantis added. "I want to make sure people are not supporting critical race theory, making sure that parents have the ability to send their kid to the school that they want to." So,
excellent.
To support kids. And if we go to the next link here, you can see him make a Twitter post about this, empowering Florida families to keep healthy kids in school. Because if your kid is healthy,
there's no reason they shouldn't go to school.
The government of Florida has the statistics for the death rate.
Yes.
Not statistically significant.
And we also know just how bad kids missing school is for them as people.
It's cost-benefit analysis.
Yes.
Like all things.
And it's very, very costly for kids to miss school for very little benefit.
I thought we'd end this segment with a nice little enjoyment of comparing this to the left. So here's what the right is offering. Go for a champion of the left, Hassan Piker here.
Yes.
So his
the
opinion.
authentic voice of the left.
I mean, unironically, though.
Unironically, yeah.
So let's play this last clip of what Hassan thinks we should do in the biomedical state.
I want to literally forcibly vaccinate these motherfuckers in their sleep, okay? I do not give a about American values. I do not give a about your dumbass concerns.
I love it, and I'm glad that Greg listed that as they are telling you what they think of you.
Oh, yeah, believe them when they tell you. Like, you literally, I don't care about your American values, says the communist.
But yeah,
yes,
what DeSantis is offering clearly looks better, and I hope they keep up those attack ads.
Yes.
Those are gold.
I don't think they're going to be harming his approval ratings.
No. If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can catch the full podcast at 1 p.m. every weekday UK time at lotuseaters.com. You can also sign up at lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, that's how we keep this whole operation running. And recently we've put up loads of great stuff, such as this interview with legendary comedian Steve Hughes, one of my personal favourite comedians, so it was a real honour to be able to meet him. But one thing that I didn't expect, that he would be such a deep thinker, and this podcast is genuinely like a meeting of minds in a way. He was right on my wavelength on a bunch of things and helped me actually connect a bunch of dots, but I'm not going to carry on and spoil it. We also, of course, have lots of interesting articles that have been written, such as this one by Josh about the dumbest country on earth. And for premium, for silver tier subscribers, we also include a link. So it's we have an audio reading of it from a chap called Jonathan, who has a very smooth voice that you will enjoy. And this is great because often I don't have time to read all of the articles we put up, because we've put up a lot of regular content. And so this saves me the hassle of having to read it myself. So I really actually am very appreciative of this feature on a personal level. But we also do the Contemplations and Epochs, which are just interesting podcasts about interesting things. These are regular weekly podcasts. So this one is one of our writers, Josh, he's got a master's degree in psychology, talking about theories of intelligence and how they matter. And of course, we've got the Epochs, where myself and Bo, or in this case it was Josh and Bo, talking about the life of Sir Francis Drake. So that's 2 solid hours talking about England's most notorious adventurer. But we've also got lots and lots of other ones. This is number 21, so there's a good back catalogue there. And finally, we have our book clubs, and this is the part that I'm most proud of. Recently, we've done Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell, and
Reflections on a Ravaged Century by Robert Conquest.
Yeah, Robert Conquest is fantastic. Just if you want Western chauvinist historian, he's your man.
Anti-socialism.
Yes, in all forms, it's fantastic. And like I said, that's what keeps the podcast running. So if you want to become a member, thank you very much, and we think there's some great stuff you'll enjoy.